Donald Trump is trying to block protesters from protesting around the inauguration. It should be no surprise, but let's just take a look at this snippet of an article that I got a hold of from Twitter. It says the Lincoln Memorial. Hang on, let me get a better version. Boom, better. The Lincoln Memorial has been the site for many of the United States' most historic rallies, from the civil rights and anti-Vietnam protests of the 1960s to the Million Man March of 1995. However, for the thousands of women planning to march on Washington following Donald Trump's inauguration, the D.C. landmark won't be available for rallying. According to The Guardian, the National Park Service, on behalf of the Presidential Inauguration Committee, the National Park Service has, on behalf of the Presidential Inauguration Committee, blocked access to the landmark by filing a, quote, massive omnibus blocking permit. Close quote. This will bar protesters from most of the National Mall, Pennsylvania Avenue, the Washington Monument, and of course the Lincoln Memorial for days and weeks before, during, and after the inauguration, which will take place on January 20th, 2017. Now, okay, so I'm sure if I do some Googling, I just literally got a hold of that this morning from Twitter. What's this guy's name? Zelle or Dwelle or something like that. So I'm not sure where the original article came from, but I'm sure if I Google that last paragraph, it'll take you right to it. That's my recommendation. Donald Trump is a man-child, a thin-skinned, overly sensitive, narcissistic man-child who can't handle criticism and critique. And he has been elected to the office of the presidency, which one of the main roles of the office of the presidency is to be hated by half of America and adored by the other half of America. That just happens. Donald Trump has never had to be subjected. There's been a lot of hate around Donald Trump, but he's never had to be the target of the ire of half of America, which makes me feel like Donald Trump he's not going to survive this presidency without violating some of the First Amendment. He's already started, right? This of course, protests, how can I say this? Protests have been calculated into the American system, right? That's why you have to get permits for protests. All right, protests don't really shake up the American system. They've learned to give you space to vent and watch you guys, get irate and whatever the case may be. Doesn't mean we shouldn't protest, but it's just to say that they have a way of controlling them. And this is their way. You can't get a permit, you can't protest. So they think, right? There's still always the option of just showing up and protesting, which I suggest, I'm not going to make any suggestions, but you do whatever the hell you want to do. If somebody told me I couldn't protest, that's exactly where I would go. But I digress. The point is this: Donald Trump is going to, because he's so vain and so consumed with controlling what people say about him, he is going to continuously stomp on the First Amendment throughout his presidency. The question is, will he step on it so far as to actually make it a thing? A real controversy, because what they're doing in D.C. with this blocking of the permits, that's a part of the structure. That's their way of controlling protests. So he's not doing anything illegal. All he's doing is signaling to America that he does not have thick enough skin to actually do the job of the president and endure the being burned in effigy every single day. He can't handle that. So it's going to be an interesting 4 years, in the sense that he's going to spend just as much time, if not more, concerned about his image than he is concerned about his job of the presidency and protecting and defending the Constitution of the United States, which includes the right to assemble and the right to protest and to petition our government. But when you elect a narcissistic man-child with thin skin and can't take any criticisms or critique, this is exactly what you get. You get the man-child, Donald Trump.